So, this one's going to be about a few Reddit questions because it's just amazing. Reddit questions are just amazing just because it is probably going to be something that a lot of people are struggling with. Whatever the question is or whatever the statement is, there's going to just be a lot of people involved. It's not going to be one question that is for one singular person. It might be just a really, 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 really small group of people that the question is applicable to or the statement is applicable to, but probably it's going to be more than one person. Therefore, it's just really amazing to go through them. And I'm also willing to talk about answering questions on Reddit. But as always, more after the intro. And I'm not seeing anything. And it is a little bit disturbing. Yeah. I really am not. I think it is actually the worst part about having longer hair, that I'm not really able to see anything. And also when I'm doing sports, especially in physical education, it is something that's really fucked up then. I'm not able to see anything. I'm not able to just throw a proper pass when it's about, handball, or just kick a proper pass when it's about fucking soccer. I'm not able to do so just because I'm not able to see anybody. It's not good. Think about that. And I'm always regretting that when I'm just not putting any product in my hair then on every day when we're having the physical education. But yeah, it's not today's topic. Today's topic is Reddit, basically. But before I actually go through Reddit and before I even talk about Reddit, all the necessary links should be down in the description. So please check out the description and please also check out the show notes. If you're on a podcast, there should be all the necessary links that you maybe are in need of. And if there's something that you're missing out on, please hit me up on social media. I'm going to reply in 2 hours. Maybe it's going to be 1 hour. Maybe it's even going to be just a few seconds. It depends on the day. It depends on the time of the day. But it's probably not going to take too much time. But yeah. Let's talk about answering questions on Reddit before we actually answer questions on Reddit. It is amazing, by the way. It is amazing. And I was actually able to gain 1 more subscriber by answering a bunch of questions on Reddit. Though, something that I do want to point out is that this shouldn't be your intent. Your intent shouldn't really be, and this is also something that I'm focusing on. Of course, I've been thinking about how could I just have more viewers? What could I do? Probably one of the better things is to just get into these spaces and get into the communities where all these people are that you're willing to serve. And yeah, there seem to be the people that I'm willing to serve. And it just really makes sense. Though, I really have to point out that it shouldn't be your intent. It shouldn't be your intent to just give something and then also expect something. And for me, expecting to get another subscriber is just such a huge expectation. And it is really not something that it might be something that I'm hoping for, but it is really not something that I'm expecting, because it is something that's so much. Even though, it might be something life-changing that I am saying, but then it is rather about the case or the fact that I said something that is life-changing, that actually makes me happy then. And it really does, because, going through all the questions, and there are always some questions, especially if you're just sorting them by the new ones, then there are going to be some questions where there is no answer, and there's just going to be a question where, there's going to be 1 answer, or maybe 2 and whatnot, but then actually giving an answer to anybody. You do not even have to read through the whole story, the whole statement, the whole question. Sometimes I think it is even enough to just read the first few lines, because of course we can recognize patterns. Often it is actually about, at my point of view at least, cognitive distortions. Read them up. They're really interesting, and I do really have to say that they can be applied to a lot of people, or you can see them in a lot of people, unfortunately as well, really unfortunately. So referring to those things, referring to patience, referring to basically all those things that I've been talking about for the last year, basically, these are just a lot of things that I'm then just able to point out, or that I'm also then going to point out. Sometimes I kind of feel like, and you should really give a fuck about the words that you're using, because you should be using words that leads the person to actually doing what you're saying. If you're just acting like you know everything, and you're gonna just really sound and somehow feel arrogant, I don't know if anybody would be doing anything or would be doing anything about whatever you're saying. I don't know, this is also something to have in mind. But in general, if you're having 10 minutes left in your day, please go on Reddit or Quora or on Twitter or anybody on any social media website. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Search for those questions. Search for those people that need help. Search for those people that really are in need of help, please go to them and answer their fucking question. It's probably going to take you 10 minutes, maybe not even, especially if you're talking to your phone. If you're using just Siri or whatever device you're having, it's probably not going to take just such a lot of time. It's probably going to be really fast because at my point of view, typing is the most fucked up thing there. If I would be able to just make some sort of a voice memo, I would, I think, do that, not when I'm in public. But yeah, this is also one of the reasons why I would actually like to link my episodes there, because I'm talking about those questions. I'm talking about them for more than 10 minutes sometimes. And it is really something that I am willing to point out then. But actually typing everything is just the worst part about everything, or about the whole thing, because it takes really a lot of time for just getting out the things that I'm willing to get out. It's really not that efficient, I have to say. It really is not. Which might be also one of the reasons why the audiobooks and all listening things are also very efficient for some people, because, I don't know, reading a book might take you 10 hours, 8 hours, but listening to an audiobook might take you fucking 2 hours. And of course, you can just listen to it over and over and over again, and or certain parts over and over again. But yeah, I do just want to point out that there are just a lot of people that are in need of some answers, and you are having the answers probably. You're probably knowing something about something that the other person is not doing anything about. Probably, because you're probably interested in something. And there's probably somebody that is just really, really in need of this certain answer that you are having. I really do not want to say that it is not nice to not do that, but it's somehow, as I'm just stating it, as I'm just thinking about it, it is somehow actually the case. But, if you're having 10 minutes of time, please go on one of these websites and answer one of these questions. It could actually make a person's life, and or a person's day as well, but also life. And this is something to look out for, how much good you can be doing by doing that, how much value you can provide to those people by doing that. And it is not such a lot of time. 10 minutes is really not such a lot of time. But yeah, let's go through some questions, I guess. And I am having some problems with something, and I do not know why. Yeah, that's me. Hello. I do hope that the episode is fine, that nothing is broken. And why is this fucked up? No, I don't want to read you. Don't get so caught up in your dream career or purpose. Just focus on taking steps for your own well-being today. I do have to say that having dreams and having goals and whatnot is important, though I really understand what the person is referring to, because if you kind of leave out on today, basically, if you forget about today, then it's, I don't know, you basically execute today. This is what I would say. You have to execute today so that you're able to get to somewhere. And if you're not executing today, when are you going to execute then? Tomorrow, which is the second best day? Well, actually the third best day, because today is the second best day and yesterday was the best day to do something about your future, to do something about the things that you're passionate about, and to do something about those people that you're willing to serve. Yesterday has been the best day. Today is the second best day, and tomorrow is going to be the third best day. And there's a video, I might just be having a look at it. Nah, I'm not. It's Steve Jobs, actually. I can. I'm a student in high school and I wanted to build a frequency counter, and I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed and he gave me the spare parts to build a frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer, a Hewlett-Packard working an assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequently counters. He got me a job in place that built them, and I was in heaven. And I never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone. When I called, I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to, as responsive, to pay debt or gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask, and that's what separates the people that do things from the people that just dream about. You gotta act, and you gotta be willing to fail, and gotta be willing to crash and burn with people on the phone. So this is actually what Steve Jobs said. For all the podcast listeners, I really do hope that you have understood what I've been talking about. I hope it wasn't too fast, and all the YouTube watchers, they contribute off of the video option that they are having. But yeah, today I stopped playing games, did some exercises and cleaned the house. After doing all this and getting a freezing cold shower, I felt incredible. I would say especially about the freezing cold shower, I guess, because I'm sorry, I honestly do have to say, unfortunately, I broke the shower yesterday, which leaves me without the raining shower thing, if it is called like that. I'm not quite sure, which is a little bit fucked up. And which is a little bit sad, to really be honest, because the water is colder when I'm using it just from the just sealing water thing than when I'm just using the hand water thing, if you know what I'm referring to. I don't know. The thing is, and I do just want to have it colder. This was the main reason why I'm actually going into the shower, because I could also be showering in the bathtub. I could be doing that, because it would also be more convenient to some degree, because I don't have to clean the windows of the shower. And then, there is some additional work applied to that or included there, but the shower is colder, and the water there is colder, and I do want to have the coldest water that I'm able to use in my home. The thing is, in the winter it's going to be colder, just because of all the what is the thing called the water runs through? Like in your house, there is those things, just a bunch of them. It is not cables, but it looks like cables. It's just like a 3D hole, basically. Actually, I don't know. Never mind, you know what I'm referring to. The thing is, just because it is colder outside, also those things get colder, therefore the water is also colder. When it is warmer outside in summer, for example, then the water is also going to be a little bit warmer. It is maybe changing it, for like 3 degrees or something, maybe even 5. It does feel significantly colder. Sometimes on some days as today, it wasn't really the case, but I really think it is pretty sad that I'm not able to use the rain shower thing type stuff, whatever. But what I actually wanted to say, which is the whole point that I'm willing to make, take cold showers. It feels good. It really feels good. And I do not even want to say that you should be having only cold showers. One of my rules, for example, is to get out of the shower when I had my cold shower. I'm not getting out of the shower when I'm having a warm shower or when the last part of the shower was warm. It has to be cold, at least for 30 seconds. Therefore, I'm actually doing it like in quote-unquote cycles. When I'm getting into the shower, I'm getting a cold one. I just pull cold water over my head and everything and whatnot for 30 seconds. Then I'm gonna just clean myself and basically rub myself with, I don't even know what it's called. Like shower gel, shower, you know what I mean, like some product basically. And then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna shower for 1 minute with warm water, because I want to cycle. I do not want to only shower with cold water, because I believe it is not really the healthiest thing. Then after the 1 minute of warm shower, then I'm gonna just have my last cycle, which is 1 minute of cold shower once again, and this is then it. And then I'm going out of the shower, and this is what I think really worked for me. Even though at this point in time I'm using my phone to actually time my time, to actually kind of stop my time, so that I'm able to, like a stopwatch basically, that I'm able to say, okay, I've had my 1 minute. Before, I've always been just counting, and I don't know if I'm just a really bad counter or just a really slow counter, but it felt significantly longer. I don't know why. Maybe just because I had to focus more on the cold, just because I wasn't able to relax, basically, because I always had to calculate, to count and whatnot. But yeah, take cold showers, try it out. But for maybe 20 seconds, 10 seconds in the first run, then in a month or 2 weeks or something, you can step it up and then step it up and step it up. Especially if you're having some problems with heart or with your heart, please don't do it, because it's not going to be that healthy for you. Unfortunately, still trying it out, but always just talk to a professional, I would say. I haven't done it, to really be honest, but you should be doing that. I hope this helps someone. My trauma is your trauma, whatever it might be about. I'm gonna read it a bit. In the early days of life, I grew up 0 to 3 around strippers, drug dealers, and chaos. Vague traumatic memories still linger. Obviously neglected in this environment. Luckily for me, at 3, my parents got back together and I was able to get socialized in those crucial years through daycare, play dates, and just a normal upbringing that most people experience. However, I do remember being locked in the basement by one specific babysitter for crying after being dropped off. I cried for long periods of time because of my previous neglect. I guess this is where I learned the ability to cope silently, no matter how toxic that ability was. My parents, now 22 and 23, stayed together long enough to have my brother, lucky him. After that, they after that they split, 24 to 26, both going very separate directions. One stayed on a similar drugs and partying path and the other joined Jehovah's Witness, and I'll let you guess which one I had the pleasure of living with. I do remember a slow transition into that religion, which is 1 to 2 years. My brother was too young to remember, so was basically born into that religion. He's better off than I was, but still has his own set of problems one can imagine growing up in a cult-like organization. It is a really long story, I'm not going to go through the whole one, but as you can see, the thing is, we are all complaining. We all are doing that. I'm also doing that. I really do not want to be like, okay, I'm never ever complaining and I'm never ever unhappy. I'm never ever pissed off. I am. I clearly am. Still, I do want to point out that there are some people, for example, this person, that really had it difficult in their life up to this point. They really had it difficult. And you're probably not having it that difficult as this person is having. Maybe you're complaining about school being fucked up, about school not being cool, or about just getting bullied in school, which is fucked up. And if you're doing that, don't fucking do that. Just be a nice person, because being nice is fucking cool. If you're a fucking asshole, this is really not cool. It's fucked up, and nobody is gonna like you in the long term. Maybe there's gonna be some cool quote-unquote kids that are gonna like you just because you're a fucking asshole to all the other people, but don't be that. Unless you actually want to be remembered as a bad person. But I really assume that nobody actually wants to be remembered as a bad person. Of course, it depends on how you're viewing the world. It of course depends on what you think is bad and what is good. Still, do good. Do good. Just do good. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you in various different directions of your life and various different situations of your life. I don't know. I do just want to be a good person. And I do also want to spread that being a good person is actually really cool, because I fucking appreciate that. Because people like us do things like fucking being nice. Still, we are all complaining. It is nothing that's really good, and I would also say that it's nothing that's too bad, unless it's actually kind of chronicle or something. That you actually complain all the fucking time without having a proper reason to do so. But having the perspective of knowing that there are some people that are having it way worse than you're having it. This person is already having it quite good, to be honest. He's not living in a fucking third world country with no water and no just food and whatever. If you kind of just put it into that perspective. Of course, it wasn't a great upbringing. Of course it was not. But still, it's better than having no food and having no just something to drink. Still, on the other hand, you haven't had it maybe, hopefully, that bad. I'm really fortunate in that case. I really am. There wasn't really a lot of things that I had to struggle with, unless just divorce and whatnot. And it's just, kind of the normal thing nowadays, to be honest. Or I kind of feel like that it is somehow normal in just nowadays era, that people are getting divorced, which is nothing bad. When people don't fit, then I think it's gonna be the better thing, to be honest. But just have the perspective. Just know that some people's life is worse at this exact point in time, which makes you actually being grateful for what you are having, for the smartphone that you're having, the internet that you are having, all those other things like food, drinking, maybe a safe place to be, a roof over your head. All those things, you gotta fucking appreciate those things, and you're fucking gonna be grateful for those things, unless you actually are at this point in time. But still, think about that. 27 male, and I need a good long series, which is about books. There's actually, maybe I'm gonna give you some of the biggest series in contemporary fantasy that would be good next step from Harry Potter, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, Kingkiller chronicled by Rothfuss, A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. So if you're a book lover, it might be something for you in there as well. Now that the 2010s decade is ending, which trends are the most regrettable? Being a dick to people on camera for likes from strangers. I fucking like that. It is actually something that happened, and there's an answer that simply continued from the 2000s. Happy slapping was a real annoyance. Just all the family YouTube channels in general, I'm not quite sure about them. Like, it is something that some people are appreciating, or it seems to be the case that some people are appreciating family YouTube channels. But being a dick on camera for likes from strangers. Just think about that. Being a dick to people on camera for likes from strangers. I don't know, it's fucked up. it is, I don't want to complain about that because there are just still people that are watching that. Therefore, like, yeah, I know it makes sense that they keep doing that because people are watching, because they are making their money through doing that. And I really do hope that, also with clickbaiting, I really do hope that I'm not just doing too much clickbaiting. At this point in time, I'm using more like sarcastic thumbnails because I kind of want to try out if this is working, basically. And because I kind of find it funny, to be honest, to really be honest. Favorite tools to boost productivity. My favorite, what kind of business do you run? This will help us narrow it down. For example, we use tools that help us with IM, helping customers remotely, chasing leads, all of that kind of stuff, because we are SaaS company. We are a SaaS company. If you're a local contracting company, then we won't have much in common after the basics I described above and whatnot. Grammarly, G Suite for $5 per user. It's great value if you have employees that need to collaborate on docs. Yeah, I guess so. LibreOffice and a bunch more things. Trello, Asana, Monday. I've been working with Trello and Monday. I've actually liked Monday quite a bit, even though there is Team Week, which is entirely free and it is also just really working fine. Team Week, I guess it's called. I'm not quite sure. Kanban boards, Google My Business, Salesforce, and Tasker. Maybe there's something in the rows, in the lines that's helping you to do good. Today I learned that 4 out of 5 members of Congress continued to drink alcohol during prohibition, whatever this is. I don't know. Most likely the one just didn't drink. I don't understand it. I actually don't get it, no. The last one. I did a presentation for a $100 million company and they were impressed with my presentation. Kind of. I was tasked to do a marketing presentation for this company recently. They loved the presentation, but what they were really impressed about is the fact that my presentation looked cool. FYI, I don't know what it's called or what it actually is. I used Prezi. I kind of feel like that it is even just a German invention or innovation, whatever. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal since I learned how to use it during college 4 years ago. I guess some technology hasn't caught up yet, even with big companies. If you have something to share, would love to hear some of your unique experiences working in the industry. Congrats, mate. Now I want to see your presentation. By the way, the job I got now, I could have used Prezi. In fact, I tried. However, my boss is a very practical person, and I realized that before I actually did my presentation, I was just a waiter. Then I offered my job as a marketer for my boss, who had nobody for a 6-brand company. I am an immigrant, and I gave it a shot, did my homework, and explained that I could leverage his business with digital marketing, which I am specialized. I just came up with an Excel file, showed him some forecasts on a projector, all the head office members liked, and he decided to hire me. Early this year, he told me, "You showed me what I wanted when you first came in here, attitude. I did not even care about those numbers, but the way you did, that is why I hired you." 4 years down the line, I am now the head of marketing, our brands are growing, and we are going national, and I'm investing in a new restaurant with him. I have learned a lot, not only for marketing, or in terms of marketing, but I kind of became more entrepreneurial. Maybe the way you spoke gave a lot of confidence to the people you presented to. Anyway, good work. Could also be the case. It really could also be the case. And this is something that involves talent. Some people are talented to just speak well. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm seeing that time is flying, and therefore I'm gonna end the episode there. And with that being said, hello and welcome back. No, this is the wrong line. I wish the best health of happiness and also success, and I also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, which basically means that you're just going to be a nice person, and then you're also going to be remembered as a nice person, which is in theory just totally working. Practically, maybe not really, because there are too many people. Like the chance is way too high that there's going to be at least 1,000 people or something that are going to dislike you or even hate you. Just because of no reason, just because it is what it is, just because. 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, since a lot of companies started out with solving something that really pissed them off. I'm going to see you the next time. I appreciate it. Thank you. And bye.